Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Shaman King. So, continue on from last episode, we do see Yo's team, the Funbure Onsen team, go up against the, what are they called again? The Iceman, right? And last episode, we do see Faust with his powered up, leveled up abilities, and I guess to a certain extent Yo as well, right? Although he didn't really do much except stand there menacingly. But anyways, we see that Faust has a power up, and now all that's left is Rue instead, right? So, we're gonna see what Rue has to say for himself in terms of his power up, and then, I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point. We all know that Yo is going to just defeat the Iceman and whatnot, but let's see in what exact manner, right? And, don't get me wrong, it is cool to see them with their leveled up oversouls and so on and so forth. So, let's get into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Show Senjiraketsu. You guys figure, Faust might be into Vor? I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, that is ridiculous. Like, honestly, that is ridiculous. Right? A gigantic nurse. Like, oh, what is the offer actually thinking of? But it's unique, right? It's unique, so you gotta give him props for that. And I guess technically it's not even, it's already been spoiled because, again, in the opening we already see a lot of what they can use and whatnot. Kawalu. Akase. Right. We see it. Well, actually, no, not quite. Do we see it here? No. Okay, never mind then. We only see it in the actual anime episodes. I've always found it to be very impractical, though. Like, this demonized Eliza. Although, like, to be completely honest, I feel like the deity system that Shaman King has is also quite weird in a lot of ways as well. I'm not gonna get into it right now because I think it's kind of a spoiler, but I mean, the fact that Mephisto Eliza exists means it was probably a true story. But again, look how ridiculous that is. Did you guys see her blush back there? I actually completely... I actually kind of forgot about that part. I agree. Because you guys are not the protagonist and not the antagonist. Again, props to the Iceman, right? At least they're using some pretty innovative skills and abilities and whatnot. Oh, really? Okay. 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 It must be quite comfy up there. Fast, I mean. And once again, like what the ridiculous designs, right? I mean, if it doesn't work on the other two, why would it work on Yo, right? I feel like they should have made that scene a little bit more epic, to be honest, because this is actually a really epic scene. There's one doing, right, completely unscathed. Enough. Sort of like Tai Chi, right? Ah! But real talk though, I actually really like the concept of this particular arc here. You know, the Iceman's convictions and all. And I'll talk more about why I like how this entire thing ended at the end of this episode. I mean, obviously, it kind of worked out all in the end. But that's the philosophy of Yo, right? It all worked out naturally in the end. But beyond that, though, there's some other concepts that I really like from this. But again, we'll talk more about that at the end. As a samurai, I have to respect my opponents. Or something of that sort, anyways. Indeed, in one blow. Konbanwa. I walk my way. No, full props to Ren though. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to still be so spiky, right? Whoop. At least he can admit that, right? Yeah. All things considered, like Horohoro does have the best affinity to Iceman, right? Yeah, she's cute. Ah, okay, this scene. Hey. Hello. Hey. Oh, no? I thought we were gonna have like his classic little laugh there. Anyways, see you guys after this. Well guys, that was that, and we ended the little Iceman arc here. And in fact, we do see a little bit sneak peek of the next arc, what with Hao meeting up with Ren, and trying to draw him to the dark side of the Force and whatnot. And then also with Yo meeting Lazir again. Well, let's just say that probably the X-Laws will not take too kindly to that either. But in any case, that is for something else. As for later on, I don't really want to spoil things for you guys, in case some of you guys are still watching this for the first time. But, things are gonna start getting interesting. Well, not that they weren't interesting before, but we're really gonna get into the nitty gritty of things, right? So far up to this point, it's still been relatively smooth sailing. All things considered, we just saw Yo's team have a great power up, and Yo, Ryu, and also Foss, they're really strong. Much stronger. It's fair to say that at this moment in time, they could easily wreck Team Ren, right? And no questions asked. I seem to recall that there was actually Hao commenting on how strong Yo and the others had become, but or maybe that was just in the last episode. It doesn't matter. But in any case, that is that, and we are moving on to the next little arc here. As for this actual episode, though, I mean, obviously, it's really just to show off, the the Onsen team's new abilities and whatnot, but I do think that underlying it is a pretty important concept as well, right? The Icemen, they are small fry, right? Let's just be very clear here. They're not supposed to actually really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but still, I think it brings back an interesting point about all this in that, at least to me anyways, it's really a reminder that just because you went through some hardships or whatnot does not make you entitled to anything, right? And I think I've said numerous times before that to me Shaman King really is a sort of microcosm for how I treat the actual real world as well, because the take that it has, obviously it's still a shonen, right? And obviously it still has its more childish shonen cartoonish moments and whatnot, but I do feel like generally speaking the philosophies on life that is portrayed within Shaman King are quite apt, and a lot of things do shape my beliefs and or I guess you could say follow very closely to my own beliefs and how I treat the world as well. And at least for this particular encounter here, I'm definitely thinking more of, okay, the Icemen, we didn't really see that much of it in the anime, but I seem to recall that they were really going through their sob story and whatnot. I mean, like, how far of a sob story can it be, right? Like, sure, they survive through hardships and whatnot, every day was a struggle, they could be killed anytime, but, like, come on, literally most of the X-Laws had their family members or whatnot killed by How or something of that sort. They want to get revenge. You can't really compare the sob stories here, right? And so, but I think more so than that, right? It makes even a bigger contrast in terms of Yo's team versus the Icemen, right? If it was the X-Laws versus the Icemen, you might kind of think, oh, so in the end, it's like if the X-Laws win, for example, you would be like, oh yeah, because their story is sadder, or they deserve it more because of what they've been through, and so on and so forth. So naturally they will win, right? But no, the anime or this manga, this work makes it quite clear early on that what you experience in the past really has no bearing as to what you can do in the future, right? Just because you received abuse, just because you had a sob story, and whatnot, a sad backstory, and so on and so forth, does not make you entitled to anything in the future. That does not make you entitled to be the Shaman King. That does not make you entitled to exert your beliefs and whatnot on others in any way, shape, or form, which is really important, right? Because once again, coming back, what exactly are all these different forces fighting for, right? They're all fighting for their own little conviction, their own little belief and whatnot, and yet on Yo's side, he's really the one here who is, for all intents and purposes, neutral, right? I guess not quite exactly neutral, but at least in a sense where, he just, it's just completely natural for him, right? He doesn't really take any particular stake into saying, okay, we should do this or we should do that or whatnot. He just wants the world to be a carefree place. He just wants people to be happy in this world, and he wants himself. And actually, he doesn't even really want people to be happy. He wants himself to be happy and be able to live in a carefree world, right? So that kind of philosophy is, and it kind of is reinforced in this episode as well with the final attack of the Iceman, which, by the way, again, I'm a little bit peeved that they didn't really make it a little bit more epic, right? Because that was supposed to be like using all of their energy, all of their Furoku and whatnot in that one strike against, oh sorry, not the final strike, but actually the strike where Yo did absolutely nothing, right? And if I recall correctly, it was simply that, well, Anna pretty much explained it, right? Because Yo has no fear in his Furoku. The Furoku of others simply pass by through him and whatnot and leave him unscathed and so on and so forth. So I do think it's a nice little metaphor to his philosophy on life, and as well as how his beliefs and his convictions, all things considered, right, it's not like he has any very strong belief in anything or really wants to do anything or so on and so forth, and yet why is he still able to be here in this fight and be able to fight against all these other factions here, right? How is obviously fighting for something, right? He wants to do something. He has something in mind and something in plan for the world. I'm not gonna spoil what, but that much is obvious, right? The X-Laws, they want to stop How, and they also want to enact their brand of justice upon the world. The third third faction, which we're not going to get into until much later, they have their own thing as well. Everybody has their own thing, and yet, throughout all this, they keep on saying, right, the battle of Oversouls, this sort of battle is really a battle of will. So how come it is that somebody who doesn't really have any sort of sad backstory or whatnot, or any one true belief or religion or so on and so forth, be able to hold strong enough conviction and withstand with the other teams and shamans, right? So there you go. And I think it's quite an important concept here that really permeates throughout the entire manga all the way up to the very end, right? The philosophy that Shaman King embodies here, and more specifically, the philosophy that Yo himself embodies. But anyways, maybe that was a sort of a tangent, but I just felt that to me was much more interesting than anything else that happened here. I mean, obviously, if you're watching this for the first time, it might be pretty cool to see the evolved Oversouls and whatnot. Although, come on, they didn't really do anything, so you can't even really say much about that, right? But yeah, anyways, that's it for this episode. Next week's episode, not quite sure if I'm going to be able to get it out on time. I am in the middle of like a long holiday where I'm not going to have access to my normal recording environment and whatnot, but we'll see when the time comes, right? As Yo says, things will work out in the end, right? So anyways, that's it for now. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.